You all really seem to love Reddit confession stories, so today I have 3 more bangers to talk to you about. And also, while I'm reading these stories, I'm hopefully going to finish up my mob farm. Skyblock has been so much fun learning. I'm still kind of lost, but let's go ahead and get right into the first story. I pretended to be pregnant to keep my boyfriend from leaving. I don't really know how to start this one without just saying it outright, so I'm just going to say it. I faked a pregnancy to keep my boyfriend from leaving, and it's been 4 years and he still doesn't know. We'd been together about 2 years at a time, and everything was genuinely good between us. Like, actually good. Not the kind of good you convince yourself of after the fact. Then he came home one night and told me he got offered a job across the country, a real opportunity, the kind you don't really turn down if you're being smart about your career. He wasn't breaking up with me when he told me. He was very clear about that. He said he wanted to figure out a way to make it work. But the more we talked about it over the next week, the more I could hear it in his voice. The quiet uncertainty about whether long distance was actually something he wanted to sign up for, whether we'd survive it, whether it was worth trying versus just cutting things off cleanly before either one of us got hurt worse than we needed to. I was so scared of losing him. Not in a dramatic movie way, I mean genuinely, like physically anxious all the time, not sleeping, replaying every conversation, convinced that if I didn't do something, he was going to take that job and slowly just let us fade out over time. Until one day, he stopped answering. And I don't exactly know what switch flipped in my head, but one night, in the middle of a conversation about the move, I told him I was pregnant. I wasn't. I hadn't even thought about it before I said it. It just came out, and once it was out there, I couldn't take it back without everything falling apart immediately. And the horrible thing is, it worked exactly the way some sick part of me hoped it would. He didn't take the job. He told his company he had a family situation. He started talking about apartments with a second bedroom, about which hospital was closest to us. He came to 2 appointments, in quotations, that I made up entirely, sitting in a Starbucks parking lot for 45 minutes while I pretended to be inside getting an ultrasound. For 3 months, I kept the lie running. I looked up morning sickness symptoms so I could fake them convincingly. I stopped drinking in front of him. I told him I was having a rough first trimester so he wouldn't ask too many questions about doctors' names or due dates. Every single day I told myself I was going to tell him the truth that night, and every single day I didn't. Because I watched how happy he was, how he'd already started talking to the baby some nights before bed, and I couldn't make myself be the one to take that away from him on top of everything else. Eventually, I couldn't keep it going. I told him I'd lost the pregnancy. I made up a whole story, cramping, a scare in the middle of the night, an ER visit I said I went to alone because I didn't want to worry him at 3 a.m. He was devastated in a way I still think about constantly. He cried more that week than I'd ever seen him cry in the entire time we'd been together. He kept apologizing to me like it was somehow his fault for not being there, and I just sat there and let him grieve something that never existed while I sat with the worst guilt I've ever carried in my life. We're still together 4 years later. Okay, 4 years later now. We built an actual life together since then, gotten an apartment, gotten a dog, talked seriously about getting engaged eventually. He still occasionally brings up what would have happened if things had gone differently back then. If we'd had that baby, what we'd be doing now. And every single time I have to sit there and nod and say something vague and change the subject as fast as I can without it looking obvious. I think about telling him constantly, especially now that things are so much more stable between us than they were back then. But I don't know what it would do to him, or to us, if he found out that the thing that kept him from leaving, the thing he grieved so hard over, was something I made up because I was too scared to just ask him to stay. We got a manipulator on our hands, and this person doesn't even, they don't even know it. Like, you really trying to manipulate him.
You're trying to manipulate me.
But anyways, this is crazy because there's so many options that she could have taken to not go down this path. The first one is not lying and making up something completely stupid. The second one, you could just move. Like, I know it's hard, but if it's genuinely so much better for his career and you're very, like, there's nothing bad going on in the relationship beforehand, why didn't you just say, yeah, I'll go with you. I'll travel. I don't care. Like, okay, maybe like your family's from wherever you are, but at the end of the day, your new family's with him. So I don't know what you're going to do there. But this is a terrible red flag. I promise you that she's saying, oh, we're still together 4 years later now. Everything's so good. I promise you it's not. I promise you it's not. Because if you're lying over things this massive, then I can't imagine the small things that go on a daily basis that you brush off. There is no way that you are just living a normal life after this. I would be thinking about this every single day, every single minute. And it's a fake appointments too, and to fake saying like, I went to 3 a.m. and didn't tell you because I didn't want you to be stressed. That's just manipulative behavior. Like, I bet that day he did something wrong, so you're just like making him feel even worse, so he's nicer to you, so you don't have to feel like maybe you did something wrong actually, and now you're making him feel bad, and he'll be nice to you and forgive you because you had a pregnancy issue. You know, a quote pregnancy issue. It's kind of absurd to me that is someone's life out there, and it's probably multiple people's, because that's just so manipulative. It's absurd. All in all, a crazy story. That's definitely shocking. We go next though, because this one is insane. But this girl is not nearly as bad as this roommate's boyfriend who keeps accidentally texting them. My roommate's boyfriend keeps accidentally texting me. Okay, I genuinely don't know if I'm overreacting here, so bear with me. This got kind of long. I'm 20, I'm in my second year of college, and my roommate and I have been close since freshman year. Like really close. Not just we split rent and we say hi in the kitchen, close. We requested each other on purpose this year after living down the hall from each other freshman year. Her boyfriend, I'll just call him Marcus, has been around for about 8 months now. He's over most weekends, pretty quiet around me, always says hi, helps carry groceries up, that kind of thing. Nothing about him ever struck me as weird before any of this started. About 6 weeks ago, I got a text from him. Nothing crazy at first. Something like, hey, are we still on for tonight? Can't stop thinking about earlier. I remember just staring at my phone like, what is happening right now? Before I could even type anything back, he sends a follow-up. Sorry, wrong person, lol. And I actually laughed it off in a moment because, okay, people fat finger contacts all the time, especially if our names are anywhere close together in his phone, which I don't really have an idea if they are or not. I didn't even mention it to anyone, just closed my phone and moved on with the day. Then it happened again like 2 weeks later. This one was longer, something about missing how things used to be between us, which made absolutely no sense because there's no how things used to be between us. We've never had anything, we've barely even hung out one-on-one. Again, this was followed a minute later by the OMG, wrong chat, sorry thing. I remember sitting on that one a little longer, rereading it a few times, trying to figure out if I was being paranoid. The third time was worse, honestly, and this is the one that really got under my skin. It was like 1 a.m. on a Tuesday. I was already half asleep, and it said something along the lines of wishing he'd met me before he met her. And this time, there was no correction text after it. Nothing. I just sat there in my bed, in the dark, staring at my ceiling for probably 20 minutes, trying to decide if I should respond, screenshot it, ignore it, whatever. The next morning, like clockwork, I received the message. Ignore that, lol, was half asleep, wrong person again. I didn't respond to that one either. I tried bringing it up to my roommate without showing her anything, just kind of fishing around it, asking if Marcus ever texts the wrong person a lot. Maybe it's bad at autocorrect, they save their contacts wrong. Whatever excuse I could think of to make it sound casual. She laughed and said no, actually, he's weirdly private about his phone. Doesn't even really like her seeing his notifications sometimes. Which she said she thinks it's just a privacy thing guys do. Not a big deal. I remember nodding along and agreeing with her out loud, while internally, that answer made everything feel so much worse. There was a fourth one a few days ago, and this one didn't even come with the wrong person excuse attached right away. It just sat there unanswered on my screen for like an hour before he finally followed up with, ignore that, lol, drunk texting. Except it was like 4 p.m. on a Sunday, which, drunk texting at a 4 p.m. on a random Sunday? Sure, okay, buddy.
Man,
I keep going back and forth in my head about all of this. Maybe he genuinely just has the worst luck in the world with autocorrect and saved contacts, and I'm reading way too much into specific, completely innocent things. But 4 times in 6 weeks, each one a little more specific than the last, doesn't really feel like a coincidence anymore. It feels like a pattern. Or worse, like he's testing the waters and using wrong person as a built-in excuse in case I ever bring it up. I don't want her to blow up her relationship over something I might be misreading, especially since she seems genuinely happy with him otherwise. But I also don't want to sit on this and have it turn into something actually happening later. When she finds out I know and said nothing the whole time, I don't know if I should start screenshotting everything and just hand it to her straight up, text him back directly and tell him flat out to stop whatever this is, or just wait and see if there's a fifth time before I do anything at all. Part of me is also scared that if I say something and I'm wrong, I become the roommate who tried to start drama. And if I say something and I'm right, I become the reason her relationship falls apart. Either way, I lose something. Okay, I got a crazy solution to this one. You guys are roommates, okay? And there's obviously some shenanigans going on. Nobody texts someone wrong 4 times in a row, but hear me out. You guys are roommates, and that means you have one thing going against him. Your roommate is in the room with you. Why don't you just like, okay, I'm not saying you go along with it without her present. But if he texts you, hey, I miss her. I wish I chose you instead of her. Then what if like you go over to her room, wake her up, and then like, let's play along with this and see if he's actually going to be a man. Like, is he actually hitting on me, or is this real fake texting? Because you could totally just lead him on for a second and be like, oh, I always wish that you chose me instead. And if you say that, that man, dude, his little heart boner is just going to go, oh my gosh, I could have 2 women and one of them could be my side chick. Yes. Like, let's be so real. Like, it would be so easy to catch this man. Also, there's other red flags. This girl, your roommate, she doesn't know anything about his phone. I'm not saying go read through your partner's phone. There should be mutual trust. But the fact is, if he's doing this, there's probably something wrong, like, outside of that. And if he's scared to even show you notifications, yeah, you probably should inquire why. I'm not saying you need to do a full-on investigation, but there should be an open conversation. Because to me, that's breaking a lot of trust boundaries. Like, no one's drunk texting you at 4 p.m. on a Sunday. And also, like, if he's saying, I wish I chose you, that's not to a wrong person. That's gotta be, like, that's a hint. He's trying to get with you. He's trying to get in your panties, boy. Definitely should go talk to your girly roommate because that's a little sketchy. But you know what's more sketchy? Gambling. And this next story really shows why gambling debt can be so impactful for a family. I have a gambling addiction, and I've been secretly not paying our bills for months. I don't even know how to say this one out loud, let alone type it, but I need to get it out somewhere because I'm running out of road on how much longer I can keep on going. I have a gambling addiction. Not the fun kind you joke about with friends over March Madness brackets, the actual kind. The kind that's quietly been taking apart my family's life for almost a year now, while everyone around me has no idea. It started small, like it always does, I guess. Sport betting on apps. A few dollars here, a few there. It felt harmless. It felt like something I was in control of. I've got a wife and 2 kids, a mortgage, the whole normal life. And for a long time, gambling was just the side thing I did on my phone at night after everyone went to bed. Nothing that ever touched a real amount of money. But somewhere over the last year, it stopped being a side thing. I started chasing losses. Then I started chasing the losses from chasing losses. And at some point, I genuinely don't even know exactly when, I started using money that wasn't mine to lose in the first place. The mortgage payment that was supposedly a bank processing delay 2 months ago that wasn't a processing delay, I gambled it and lost most of it trying to win back what I'd already lost the week before. I told my wife it was just a glitch. She believed me, called the bank herself, and got told there was no glitch on their end. And I just kept insisting it must have been some kind of mix-up until she eventually let it go. I've done versions of that same lie probably 5 or 6 times now with different bills. The car insurance lapsed for over 3 weeks last month, and I told her I'd renewed it early and there's a delay getting the new card mailed. My son needed money for a school trip, and I told him I forgot to submit the form on time, so he missed out. When really, the money had already been spent 2 weeks earlier and there's nothing left to give him. My wife has started noticing things are off even though she doesn't know why yet. She's asked me a few times if something's going on financially, if my hours got cut, if there's something I'm not telling her, and every single time I look her in the eye and tell her everything is fine. We're fine. I don't know why she's worried. I hate the way she looks a little relieved every time I say it. Like she wants to believe me so badly that she just lets herself. The part I really can't shake is watching my kids in all of this without them having any idea what's actually happening. My daughter's been asking about a dance class she wants to sign up for, and I keep telling her we'll figure it out soon. We're just busy right now. When the truth is, there's no money for it because I lost what would have covered it 3 weeks ago on a game I don't remember watching. I just remember watching the numbers on the app instead of the actual screen. My son's shoes are falling apart, and I keep saying we'll get new ones this weekend, and then this weekend comes and I make another excuse. I look at both of them some nights, and I feel the specific kind of sick that I don't think I can properly describe. Like I'm watching myself slowly take things away from 2 people I'm supposed to protect the most. And they don't even know I'm the one doing it to them. I've tried to stop more times than I can count. I've deleted the apps, but then I re-download them a week later. I've told myself after the next win, I'll walk away for good. And then the next win turns into the next loss, and the cycle just resets itself. I haven't told my wife the real number of how deep this actually is because I genuinely don't think she'll be able to look at me the same way again. And some cowardly part of me would rather keep lying a little longer than watch that happen. But I also know that the longer this goes on, the worse the version of the truth gets that she actually finds out. Whether that's me finally saying it or from something breaking that I can't explain away anymore, a repo, maybe an eviction notice, something I can't cover with another excuse about the bank. I really don't know what I'm asking here. I guess I just needed to say it somewhere outside my own head for the first time. Because in my head, it's the only thing I think about for months. And I don't know how much longer I can keep pretending everything's fine to the people who trust me the most. What are we doing? Dude, the gambling addiction in modern society is absurd. Why do we need to gamble to watch and enjoy a sport? If you don't enjoy watching the sport on its own, then you shouldn't be doing it. And it always starts so small like this, and then we're gambling and we're giving out our mortgage. And then, dude, the fact that he said his son's shoes are falling apart and that like a little girl can't have her dance class is insane to me. Like, are we joking, dude? Really? How pathetic of a man do you have to be? How pathetic of a human? It's not man specific, but how pathetic of a human and a parent can you be to be able to put yourself through that and be like, yeah, I want to gamble some more. Like, are you kidding? Are we really? Are we doing this nowadays? This one has no excuse. This guy is a total a-hole. This guy is worthless. I'm going to say this guy's worthless. Like, maybe he's providing somewhat. The wife probably has a job because she's the one. She seems the only one to be somewhat normal here. Maybe if she is being a little delusional about where the money's going, like, go look at the bank statements and you can go see it's on Prize Picks day after day. Now, I don't, like, it's so difficult because addiction in any form is hard, but it really is just quit. Like, it is just quit. You can get your account banned pretty easily if you ask. Like, it's not too difficult to try to get your own account banned. I think this person just doesn't care. Like, this legitimately feels like this is an addiction you could easily break. This person is pretty worthless. I think that the wife should leave him, take the 2 kids, go find a man who's bigger, stronger, and makes more money, and then just go, like, never talk to this worthless person ever again. But for the viewers at home, if you've watched this far into the video, say pineapple applesauce in the comments or something. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. This has been some very interesting Reddit confession stories, and I will talk to you all later.